ESPN Sal Paolantonio, who will join us here on the Boardwalk Honda Hotline. And, of course, we're getting ready for Tampa Bay and Kansas City. You can hear the game live on 97.3 ESPN, so let's bring him in. He was dapperly dressed today down there in St. Petersburg, Florida. Had the nice hoodie on. You were looking very dapper there, Sal Pal.
Hey, thanks a lot. Try to change things up once in a while, Mike Gill, Even at the tender age of 64 years old.
I was going to say, very youthful look today with the hoodie there. You were looking very youthful with that look there. I liked it. It was a good look.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Sal Pal, you have covered all 10 of Tom Brady's Super Bowls for the mothership, and you say in the 10 Super Bowls you have covered of Tom Brady, you see a distinct pattern or arc to all of his appearances.
Yeah, there's a progression that he uses. So at the beginning of the week, he's very introspective. He'll talk legacy and history like he did yesterday, predicting that he could play to the age of 4 to 5 years old. And then today they had a walkthrough. They did 45 plays at the Bucs facility. And, he really ratchets up his preparation. And then on Wednesday, he just brings the fire and the competitiveness. There'll be a lot of trash talking. I've heard a lot of players say in the past that, he brings a lot of trash talking to that Wednesday practice. He'll challenge players. He'll hold them accountable. He'll make sure that, they understand that he takes this deadly seriously. And he'll continue that, and they'll have some fast-paced practices on Wednesday and Thursday. And then he goes into sort of a mental, physical preparation with his trainer, Alex Guerrero, who's by his side the entire week. And then he'll go into what he calls a mindfulness mode. And I talked a lot about this with him. He has a book called The Four Agreements by a Mexican spiritualist. I've read it and studied it. He turned me on to it about 5 years ago. And he reads it and rereads it with his children and his wife. He's very serious about it. And, one of the last agreements in the book, actually the last agreement in the book is always do your best. Keep those distractions out of your life that will prevent you from having joy and accomplishment in your life. He takes this stuff really seriously. He preaches it to his teammates, to his coaches, anybody who will listen. And that's the progression of how he approaches the week.
It's crazy because here he is at, 44 years old. And he acted this way when he was 25, 26, 20, like when he was a younger guy. Like, as you get older, you get wiser. You're saying that Tom Brady was like this when he was a young guy.
And it's gotten more intense. But, it definitely has been a progression that I have watched happen pretty much throughout all of his Super Bowls from the very beginning. Now, obviously, early on when he started his first Super Bowl against the Rams in 2002, when Belichick chose him over Drew Bledsoe, he didn't know what he was getting into. But his ability to, have that initial practice on Wednesday, and it was down in New Orleans. It was right after 9/11. I remember it well. And players, that first Super Bowl against the Rams told me that Wednesday and Thursday, it was a completely different team because Bledsoe was not like that. Drew Bledsoe was never like that, never willfully vocal like that in practice. And Brady just showed that from the very beginning.
Sal, we just had Ike Taylor on from the Steelers and, won 2 Super Bowls, played in the third. He told us a tremendous story, and he said the practice week leading into the Super Bowl was like playing the AFC championship game every day. That's what the practices were like. That's how intense their practices were for Pittsburgh. Is it like that now? Like, can it be, or is it that intense? Is Tampa Bay and Kansas City, are they having these intense practices to get ready for this game?
Well, I can tell you flat out, and that's a great question, Mike. That's a very interesting story that Taylor told you. I can tell you flat out that Saturday's practice at One Buck Place was at super high speed. Arians told Brady that he wanted to go at a very fast pace. And Arians told me in a text on Sunday that the speed intensity was exactly what he was looking for. So why do they do speed intensity? Well, because, the Super Bowl, your body clock and your rhythms of your body are just going so hot that, you want to try to duplicate that during practice during the week. You have that long halftime, and they also practice that. So you'll go super hot in practice for 30 minutes, and then the coach will shut it down, put you in the locker room of your facility for the extra special long halftime. And then they want to duplicate the conditions of the game as much as possible.
Obviously, Brady has been here many times, but it's a first for Bruce Arians. So how is that dynamic? I mean, I guess Bruce had been here as an assistant in the past, but never as the main guy here. So, I'm interested in your what you've kind of taken from watching their practice, how much Bruce Arians is kind of taking this all in.
Right. So I'm shut down now, so I can't watch practice tomorrow. We have a pool reporter, Rick Stroud from the Tampa Tribune, will be the pool reporter for the NFC, and he'll be able to watch practice. But his pool report is vetted by the Bucs and the NFL, so we won't get all the information that we would normally have watching practice. But Arians and I have been close over the years, and I talked to him about Brady this year, and he's echoed to me some of the stuff that he has said to others, which is that Brady is a heck of a coach on the field. He's like having a field general in charge, and I got to tell you, when you look specifically at some of the things that have transpired just in the last 8 to 12 weeks of the season and the postseason, this team has evolved. How has it evolved? Well, I think Byron Leftwich has done a great job as offensive coordinator, dialing up heavy packages. The Bucs have had 6 offensive linemen on the field, more than any other team since Week 12. They've gone heavy to protect Brady, heavy to run the ball. In the postseason, they are now running the ball at a clip of 48%. That's up over 30. They were at 34% during the regular season. An interesting prop bet in this game is the over-under on the number of pass attempts for Brady. And the prop bet is 39.5. In the postseason, Brady has averaged only 36 pass attempts per game. That's the number he had in the NFC Championship game, just 36. And I think it'll be under the 39.5 because they're going to want to keep Mahomes off the field as much as possible. That was what they did with Breeze. That's what they did with Rodgers. I think they're going to run the ball. I think this game will be determined by the running game, by the pass protection, and by their ability to play defense against Patrick Mahomes more than it will be Tom Brady.
And a very interesting storyline in this game for people in this region who are kind of football geeks, Sal, is you got Andy Reid, obviously, the former Philadelphia Eagles, but Todd Bowles, which was, at the end there, was the defensive coordinator with Andy on the interim basis. He's going to have to figure out a way to shut down Andy's offense, and Bowles is on a roll right now.
And so was Andy. There's no question about it. Bowles has blitzed more than any defensive coordinator in this postseason that we're in right now. He's got the highest percentage. Spagnuolo is too. It's the reason why those two teams are in. I've told you, we talked about this for 2 straight weeks. It's a blitzathon in the postseason because the refs are not calling offensive holding. So the only way to get to the quarterback is to send extra bodies. Spagnuolo and Bowles figured that out. Mike Pettin in Green Bay did not. He did it in the second half. That's why Brady threw 3 picks. But in the first half, he let him throw the ball. So that's why Pettin's gone. So that and, bad defense against Scotty Miller, but mostly because he couldn't get to Brady in the first half. And why? Because he blitzed him only 13% in the first half, Mike. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So Bowles is blitzing, but you can't blitz Patrick Mahomes. He has the best quarterback rating against the blitz of any quarterback this year for a number of reasons. One, Reid is very good. You just mentioned Andy Reid. Historically, he's been very good at, if they do this, you do that. If they didn't do that, you do this. His contingency off the blitz is among the best. I think the best ever in the last 25 years. Two, Mahomes just has so many places to go with the football. You can't double Hill or Kelsey. I mean, you can't double them both. You got to double one or the other.
Yeah.
You got to pick your poison, for sure, 100%. And the other, Mahomes has just a natural ability to sidestep the rush, and his release is so quick.
Sal, before we let you roll here, and you'll be back on Friday, and, of course, Johnny G, the Burger Realty team, thanks to them. Sal is here for Super Bowl 55 on this Tuesday. He'll be back on Friday with the last look before the big game. I do want to get your take on what happened over the weekend because Jared Goff gets traded, but they had to throw in 2 first-round picks to get that done. So what is that for the Eagle fan out there who's saying, trade Wentz? That trade says what?
Michael, I want you to be in your office one day and get an email before you go on the air. And the email is a press release from the Eagles. We traded Carson Wentz to, let's pick a team, to the Carolina Panthers. And in order for them to take to Carson Wentz, we threw in 2 first-round picks. We got Teddy Bridgewater back in exchange. You would go nuts. Howie Roseman would be laughed off the stage. He'd be vilified. I mean, Rams had to sweeten the deal to get the Lions to swallow Goff's contract, similar to Wentz's contract, with 2 first-rounders. Eagles are never going to do that. That can happen in L.A. because you got the Lakers and the Dodgers and the Rams, but are not that big of a deal out there. But in Philadelphia, the Eagles are a way of life that would never pass muster in Philly. Am I right about that or what? Come on.
No, absolutely. We were talking about yesterday. Would you throw the 2 first-round picks in? Because you mentioned Carolina. Apparently, they offered pick 8 to get Goff, but to get Stafford. But the 2 picks coming from L.A., too hard to pass up. No other team was doing that.
No one was. And here's the real great irony. The Rams keep Sean McVay, who couldn't beat Doug Peterson in a big game and scored 3 points against Bill Belichick in the Super Bowl, and they trade their failed quarterback. The Eagles keep their failed quarterback and get rid of Doug Peterson, who beat McVay all the time and beat Bill Belichick in the Super Bowl, with a backup quarterback, a back middle linebacker, and a backup left tackle when Tom Brady threw 505 yards. Come on, go figure. Tell me that's not crazy.
What a world. What a world. It's the NFL. Sal Paolantonio is covering Super Bowl 55. It's the 10th time he has covered Tom Brady. And by the way, Gronk has been a part of that too. I saw you got a chance to catch up with Gronk after the NFC Championship game. He's been there as well, and they are back. The party's in Tampa. Probably a little different party this year, huh?
It is. Our ESPN complex is all the way on the other side of the causeway. We're in St. Pete Beach. Nice beach.
Not bad.
I'd rather be in Ocean City. The beach is nicer in Ocean City. Thanks to Johnny G and the Griner team at Burger Realty in Ocean City for supporting my appearances on the Mike Gill Show. Mike, love being on the radio with you, brother.
All right, man. We'll catch up with you Friday. Enjoy the weather because it's snowing like crazy here.
Oh, my gosh, I know.
Yeah.
Every time I talk to somebody back in Philly, they're like, you're in St. Pete, and they hang up on me.
I'm about to do the same. See you later, man. Sal Paolantonio, everybody, ESPN, and, of course, see, like all guests appeared via the Boardwalk Honda hotline. There you go. What an awesome insight on Tom Brady. 10 years in the Super Bowl there, that whole breakdown that he gave at the beginning of our conversation.